about a specific variant that natives have because of their contacts with Europeans as a marker that they still have as a protection that's actually in their protein today that they can find. And what I want to show the family is something else that's been used to map how Native Americans move. My brother here, Truthstorian, deals with the history, and I'm trying to put in a farm because, you know, we have history, we have archaeology, we have anthropology, but we also have genetics, which is DNA and all that stuff, and we also have linguistics. So now this is an article from Smithsonian Magazine, right, where it talks about Native Americans' ancient migration patterns to North America are hidden in languages spoken today. Languages spoken in North America and Siberia are distantly related. What does that tell us about the first Americans? So this is an article by Joseph Stromberg from March 2014. What's up, Unc? A few weeks ago, scientists announced an intriguing finding about the ancestors of today's Native Americans. Previously, genetic analysis had indicated that they left Siberia to migrate across the ancient Beringia Strait about 25,000 years ago, but the earliest evidence of human habitation in North America dates to 15,000 years. In reconstructing the ancient Beringian environment, researchers provided a new clue that could help explain this discrepancy. They drilled into the Bering Sea between Siberia and Alaska, recovered sediment cores, and found that they contained plant fossils and pollen from a wooded ecosystem. All right? I'm not going to go too deep into that. But now more evidence for the idea comes from a seemingly unlikely source. Languages still spoken in Asia and North America today. A pair of linguistic researchers, Mark Sicoli and Gary Houghton, recently analyzed languages from North America, the Nadine family, traditionally spoken in Alaska, Canada, and parts of the present-day U.S., and the Asian Yeniseian family, using similarities and differences between the languages to construct a language family tree. As they note in an article published today in PLS 01, they found that the two language families are indeed related, and both appear to descend from an ancestral language that can be traced to the Beringia region. Both Siberia and North America, it seems, were settled by the descendants of a community that lived in the Beringia for some time. In other words, Sicoli says, this makes it look like Beringia wasn't simply a bridge, but actually a homeland, a refuge where people could build a life. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but ladies and gentlemen, they now can match up build a tree based on the language to show there's a connection between Asian languages and modern day North American languages. This is this is information beyond Dane Calloway, beyond anybody that's in this community. So that means, and this is a key also, the people that are claiming this, what is your connection to any language? Because this is how you show somebody identity. Garfield speaks Patois. The guy said the pidgin language that I speak, the Patois. The Patois that I speak is connected to the Twi language in Africa. So I have a home that I could point to because of my Jamaican language, Jamaican dialect, I should say. All right. So it is tracked down through this that they see with the languages today. They could figure out that it's connected to the people in Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great research. Let me just put it in the chat so you could read it for yourself. And Garfield didn't make it up. All right. Let me get Godkiller again in here. And here is the source. So I dealt with the genetics earlier about how they used to fight off. There was a variant that's found in Native Americans today that they use that's found in their protein because they fought off diseases. We have something in our protein within our genes that is sickle cell anemia or something to fight off malaria. So today you see that we are connected to the people in West Africa that were fighting off against malaria. That's our genetic marker or a genetic footprint that's from West Africa that we carry on today. And linguistically, I carry on my Jamaican accent. Him say Truthstorian and come and go down the road and buy 2 food and ray. Him know what me I say. Him say, yo,
yep, I do.
Damn Jamaican spot. I ain't going to no Jamaican spot to buy no food. No.
Exactly.
I'm going to eat Spanish today. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let me see what Godkiller, I don't know what's going on with your thing, man. I think the Most High don't want you on here. That's what I got to say about it.
All right, yo.
But go
In
ahead.
the meantime, is my screen showing again?
Hold on. No, you're not. You got to share it. You didn't share it.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Hold on, because this is now the preamble to the Source Awards, which is all sponsored by God Killer and the Source Up or Shut Up movement. We have now created the Source Awards. So anytime we talking and all that stuff, you might as well just start slinging them all up in the background, because this is going to be the new movement. I done told y'all we're going to go to our new favorite site.
Kiowa, yes, sir. That's a very good question. Garfield, do Africans and Europeans have that same marker? No. And if I'm wrong, I mean, I'll double check and ask my brother Unc. But because it was something to fight off the malaria, we wouldn't have it. So same thing with the natives. The natives will have it and Africans don't have it because it's a marker within their system. I mean, I could ask him. He's better at this stuff than me. So I'll ask him when he comes on. But again, we look at it. I know what Dane Calloway said. I'm telling you guys, I'm giving you sources. Go back to the scientists who did the research as far as linguistics and far as fighting off. You see, I could argue what he says, but you ain't going to believe me because I don't have the Brooklyn magic. I'm just giving you the sources, something that he didn't do. And that's important. But good question, brother. And when comes on, ask it again so I can remember to ask it. But good point. But go ahead, Truthstorian. The floor is yours, brother.
All right. So once again, we're going to stick with this. Here's a source from our new favorite site in conscious world called what? LOC.gov. Everybody should have that as a bookmark. Okay.
AKA the $5,000 spot.
Thank you. The $5,000 spot. I am the plug, by the way, the cable guy, and I just plugged all of conscious worlddom and now. This ain't no secret, so use it. Library of Congress has primary documents, so we're going to see how this works. This is a primary document from the 1780s and 90s called an advertisement. They happen to be advertising Africans. Now, if you have to learn how to read primary documents, and we're going to do this real quick. It says to be sold on board the ship Bant Island. So here is a ship on Tuesday, the 16th of May. Next at Ashley Ferry, here's a location, a choice cargo of about 250 fine, healthy Negroes, they're calling them. But what about these Negroes? These Negroes have just arrived from where? From America? No. From the Windward and Rice Coast. Now, what you do is you teach your children, because you're too adult and arrogant sometimes, and say when you don't know something, you look it up. And so if you look up where the Windward and Rice Coasts are, you will find out that they lay on the west coast of Africa. So you say, okay, they got Negroes from Africa, and they drew these pictures who are not in this instance or what you would think are Indian because of the headdress and this particular type of skirt. It is a representation of the Negroes from the Windward and Rice Coast. Let's go through this smooth because I know Ankh want to go in. So why would they bring them? The utmost care has already been taken and shall be continued to keep them free from the least danger, Garfield, of being infected with the smallpox, Onesimus, and inoculation, right? No boat having been on board and other communications with people, right? No boat having been on board and other communications with people, right? No boat having been on board and other communications with people from Charlestown. So we have a location of South Carolina. NB, once again, full 1/2 of the above Negroes have had the smallpox in their own country, That's why they got injected with it by Onesimus and others, and so they got it already. So we got this from this one primary from the 1780s of where these people were from, why they came, why Rice Coast, Rice in South Carolina, and brought to Charleston, South Carolina, to do that work. And y'all others, y'all got it from there. That's one of the Source Awards now presented courtesy of Ankh and the Source Up of Shut Up movement. Thank you.
Hey, Ankh, are you there, brother? Can you hear me? I heard you for a minute. I heard you chip in for a minute. I heard you a while ago. Yeah, I see your picture. Say something. I think you got to call in, bro.
Okay, so in the meantime, we're going to go a little slower. So it says, C. Benji 07 said at 10:30, no evidence they were Africans. You just admitted they brought Indians to Sierra Leone, which is in that region. So, see, please put that comment up so we can address this. Again,
where is that? Hold on, let me find it.
It's at 10:30 a.m. by C. Benji 07. Okay, fair. I did say they did take Indians to Sierra Leone. In fact, matter of fact, I didn't say that. I said they took Indians to Liberia. That's number one. And once again, when we go on this timeline thing now, we got to be more clear because this is in 1780s. Am I showing my screen? Let me just make sure. No, I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. Because this is in 1780s. You see what happens is they arrived from the Windward and Rice Coast. The Indians who were sent to Sierra Leone were not sent. They were not sent to Sierra Leone 1. They were sent to Liberia, but I'll give you the region just for sake of discussion. They were sent in a century later, and it wasn't that amount. It may have been less than 250, first of all. But these particular ones right here are the natives, who they're calling Negroes, from the Windward and Rice Coast. So what we'll do then is that we'll say, like we say, we teach our kids because we're too arrogant to look it up. Let's say Rice Coast, Africa, and see what happens. That's just, I don't know. So then we get a map right here where it says, look at this. It says, we'll just use the one from a primary site called NPS. I think we can agree that the National Park Service released.
Hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Benji, by the way, man, thanks for the question. That's a very important question because a lot of people in the chat want to ask that question, but they're probably too scared to post it. So I want to say thank you for that question, by the way. But
right. Right, which leads us to a very important thing, which once again, I would like people to go and support the Gullah Geechee Nation on GoFundMe, because now we are into these people and see where they came from and why they did it. These lands are similar to Africa. But this is the map we want for the second. We can't find it, as you can see. We can't find it, but we'll just try to make it bigger. And hopefully you can see it, that this is the Windward Coast, which they mentioned, and also the Rice Coast. And this article on NPS will tell you all about those lowlands, which are similar, where they were doing rice in Africa, and they brought them here. But what they will also tell you is this, my friend Benji, is what does it say? The English enslaved American Indians for whenever they could. So yes, they were enslaved. But when you read and be honest, you keep going. Enslavement of Indians continued for 100 years following English settlement of the North American mainland, but never in great numbers, is what you'll find. For the English, along with fear of Indian reprisals for enslavement, there was an added economic incentive to curtail their limited reliance on Indians for labor. In the 17th century, peaceful trade in deerskins with the Indians provided the English with the colony's first source of direct revenue with England. The risk of revenue loss to the Carolinas far outweighed the benefits they might gain of Indian enslavement. The solution was to import Africans for labor, a solution that did not always work to the advantage of the English. African Indians intermarried, formed alliances, and shared many experiences in the 18th century Low Country. Here they are. You see, you can find yourself in the story and see your relationship to these people if you just take the time and stop being crazy. That's all I'm saying. From the National Park Services to tell you, so somebody doesn't have to sneak around the park and find these connections with great spooky music in the background, thinking it's crazy. You want Tawny and Blackham on all that in the article right there. Telling you. Answer all your questions in one damn National Park Service article. Here they go. What do they call them? Afro-Meridian period. Give you a whole encyclopedia. You can learn all the words.
Hey, are you there, brother? All right. Let me,
My God, man.
All right. Let's, all right. So we look at that, and, I want to say to everybody, I hope you guys are learning. And if you notice, I never came disrespectful, and I want you guys to do me a favor. If you notice, I'm going to show the screen in a second and show y'all something, how evil and wicked these guys are. I'm going to show you how wicked